10 years is a long time for many people, especially when they're coping with the death of a loved one. On this day, 10 years ago, I found out via phone call that my mother had passed away. I believe it was a result of a heart attack from the smoking and drug abuse that caught up to her. My mother was... She had her problems, she had her demons that she had to fight, but through it all, she was an amazing human being. There were times when she ended up being out for herself, but she still did all she could to make sure that we knew that she loved us. Us being me, my sister, and my brother. She was a very wonderful woman, in all honesty. Whenever she would be in the room and I would see her smiling, couldn't help but smile as well. I genuinely don't remember how it happened, but she was apparently missing a few teeth and even had to have some sort of permanent dentures put in. I wish I could tell what happened there. I don't remember what it was. I don't think she ever even told me exactly what happened with her teeth like that, but either way, she still had a beautiful smile. When she came back into my life in the year, let's see, how old was I? I believe it was 2003 or 2004. It was one of those years she came back into my life as I was getting ready to finish up middle school to start high school. We would have visits every now and then, of course, due to the concerns that my dad had considering her smoking and drug abuse issues, which was understandable. We would end up meeting together, I believe, once a week, along with our social worker, my social worker, I should say. And we'd usually have some pizza. I'd usually get like white cheese pizza with pepperoni on it. I'm sure it's very unhealthy, in all fairness. Along with Pepsi Jazz, which was a thing for a while, which was like a combination of flavors for Pepsi sodas. It was an interesting thing. That time frame was an interesting time period. And we would just talk about things going on, and yeah. I also remember that I remember we went together to see the Ice Age movie. Sad to see how far that series has gone, but we saw the Ice Age movie. We had fun. Though afterwards, Mom was acting very drunk. I don't know if she had drinking any booze or if she ended up like accidentally overdosing or something, or if she like mixed something with another. But I was a bit worried, and if I'm not mistaken, when we got to Walmart from the bus, we had a taxi call to bring her home, and I believe she either sent an email, sent a letter, or called and left a message apologizing profusely and constantly about how she was acting. She didn't want to be like that in front of me, but all I knew was that she was at least safe, home safe and sound, and that's what mattered to me. I remember it was a Tuesday. She was supposed to show up with me, my brother, my sister, and my brother's social worker. Kind of an awkward guy. I'm not going to get into that for certain reasons. And she was supposed to be there, but she wasn't able to due to not feeling too well. She called to apologize about it, and yeah. A couple days later, I remember calling her, and her voicemail box was full. It didn't really register with me that that is one of the telltale signs that something terrible has happened. Because in all fairness, even though I had just turned 18, I was still a very impressionable and naive bastard. I was a slow learner, let's put it that way. Then, a day after career training program, while I was having dinner with my foster family, we got a phone call. Of course, it's always during dinner. It was my dad. He wanted to talk to me. He said he couldn't figure out any way to say it, so he just came out and said it bluntly, that my mom had died. I was devastated, to say the least. I felt like I wasn't able to continue with career training, and yet I was still forced to do so because, of course, it was an important situation that I had to do, like get myself a job, part-time at the very least, because of my mental condition and such. Mental condition, I said. Did I say mental? I don't know. But at some point, I ended up calling to, like, sort of take a short leave of absence so that I could cope with the situation properly. I had to wait until Friday to get up the courage to do it. And even then, my foster mother at the time did scold me about it, but I don't blame her for it because, in all fairness, she was looking out for my future and everything, and I understand that and accept that. It's just that at the time I wasn't able to deal with it, and it just made my feelings worse. Eventually it led to me, like, falling asleep during career training and even being late a number of times because of my sleep schedule. Which was interesting because I always had to wake up early for school, but that's besides the point. Eventually one day it got to the point where if I was going to be late one more time, I'd be kicked from the program. I eventually was kicked from the program, but I was eventually brought back in, but that's another story that is kind of unrelated to this situation at hand. I was rushing over to get to the bus. I think it was bus 15. I'm surprised I even remember something so detailed like that. And I was rushing to cross the street. I didn't look both ways properly, and a car turning into the lane, I heard a honk, but it was too late because I ended up getting hit by the turning car, literally knocked onto my backside, and rolled completely over into a seated position, I believe with the base of my back possibly hitting the curb, which brings up another memory of a situation where my body hit a curb, but that's another story. And I was like in a bit of shock, like what the hell happened? Then the driver did end up stopping to check up on me. Thankfully it wasn't a hit and run situation. A cop came by to check up on me as well, and I kept on saying that I was going to be late for career training. If I was late again, I was going to be kicked from the program. But they just basically begged me to at least wait for an ambulance to come by to get me checked up on. I ended up like conceding, being like, all right, fine, I'll go do it. I don't feel any pain, but I'll go do it. They ended up doing a CAT scan on me. They gave me like something to prepare for it, apple juice with some sort of special chemical in it to prepare for it. Since then, I couldn't really drink apple juice at all, and I did drink it at some point afterwards, like years later, but apple juice that is, but I haven't drank it in ages, and in all fairness, I guess that concoction kind of ruined apple juice for me. I had the CAT scan and everything, and they did not find any injuries in me. I managed to get hit by a car and got unscathed with no injuries. It was surprising to me, especially that, well, I'm not entirely the most religious guy out there. I was raised a Christian. I believe in God. I'm not anti-LGBT, though. I don't follow the Bible's every word, let alone any word in that book. But I was raised to at least believe in a God, and I do personally believe that there is a God out there. And as a result, I guess you could say that I personally believe that, considering the circumstances of not getting injured after being hit by a fucking car, that my mom managed to come down and protect me, like she was my guardian angel at the time. The interesting thing, though, was that I was told that I was told that I would be feeling a lot of pains moving around, like, you know, the kind of pain you get from working out strenuously that you end up getting for like a few days or so. You know, no pain, no gain in that situation. However, the next day, in fact, the next few days, I felt no pain, and the next day after the car crash, I was scheduled to go hiking on a hiking program that I went to, like, I think it was every 2 weeks or so, with other kids in a program, or even people my age, I should say. I did not feel any pain, and I managed to hike successfully without any trouble aside from exhaustion, of course. I mean, what the hell do you expect? It's hiking. Now that I think about it, hiking was a lot of fun for me. I'd like to do it again if my body is willing to do it. I mean, I have occasional back issues, but you never know. All I know is that it was around that time that I finally started to properly cope with the death of my mom, because it was around that time that I realized that she would always be with me in spirit no matter what. Simply put, spend time with your loved ones. You never know when they're going to be gone. And in the end, we're all human. Love thy neighbor. Put an end to hate. And just remember to spend time with everyone you can, that you care about, that you cherish. Don't take it for granted either, because one day they'll be gone, and it won't be fun. It won't be fun. And honestly, I don't know the exact day that my mom died. Nobody knows the exact day, but I presume it was probably late that Tuesday, or maybe the day after on the Wednesday. All in all, my mom would have been 61 today. It's not her birthday, by the way. It's just the day that she died, or at least the day that she was discovered that she died. Birthday being November 7th. She would have been 62 come this November if she still kept living. God bless her soul. She had a strong heart. She cared about a lot of people. She ended up doing her damnedest to fight her inner demons and live a good life. This is Crazy Sean DX, and keep fighting the good fight. Don't let hate control you. Love wins. Also, I want to quick apologize if the AC was bothering in any way. It's that time of the year where it's getting hot and global warming is being a bigger issue and all that, so. Hurricane season even, so. Take care, guys. Stay awesome. Stay safe. Be well. And as a last resort, give 'em hell.